So when it comes down to Call of Duty getting revealed every single year with the new title, there's one thing that I'm always looking forward to when it comes down to the multiplayer, and that is to see what the list of kill streaks or score streaks are going to be part of that game. And the only reason I do this is because I feel like that when it comes down to Call of Duty's multiplayer, the kill streaks or the score streak feature is the one thing that makes the franchise much more different than its competitors. Well, what if I told you that the list of kill streaks for Modern Warfare this year's Call of Duty have all been leaked? What is going on, you guys? This is Gaming with Sound. Welcome back to the channel. So if you guys didn't see my previous video, I talked about the gameplay that we saw from Modern Warfare's multiplayer. It was a 2v2 match with a new mode called Gunfight, and it wasn't the entire traditional multiplayer that we're all used to and know and love. Instead, it's just a little taste that Infinity Ward wanted to go ahead and give to us, and within those gameplays, I broke down what weapons are confirmed, as well as attachments, maps, equipment, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys haven't checked out that video, I highly recommend you go ahead and do so if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But today, like I talked about in the beginning of this video, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the kill streaks for this year's Modern Warfare title, because once again, they basically got leaked. Now, this information is coming from another YouTuber called The Gaming Revolution, and the reason why me and other YouTubers are starting to look towards this guy for more sources and information about this year's game is because whatever source he has, apparently they have been accurate for the most part. I mean, they also went ahead and leaked other things like the list of perks that we're probably going to be seeing in this year's game, as well as a list of weapons, and some of those weapons that were on that list actually were seen in yesterday's 2v2 gameplays. So in a way, that person or that source that's giving all of this information to the Gaming Revolution is pretty credible for the most part so far. So if he got basically most of the weapons right from the list of weapons that he leaked out, what's to say that there's not a high chance of these list of kill streaks that he leaked out that could also be actually part of the game? So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the full list of Modern Warfare kill streaks, once again, that was reported by the Gaming Revolution and his source. So the first streak that we have on the list is called a personal UAV. Now, this seems very interesting to me because if you guys didn't know already, apparently there was another leak that came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month or so ago, that said that we might not get a traditional mini-map with this year's multiplayer, and instead we will have to earn a personal UAV to be able to actually see what is going on in terms of the entire map. And a lot of people were kind of skeptical about this, and I'm still skeptical about it right now because I feel like when it comes down to multiplayer, we need our traditional mini-map, but at the same time, it all depends on how much this personal UAV is going to cost. Also, another thing, you guys, before I continue on with this list, it's also reported that we are probably going to be going back to kill streaks and not score streaks, meaning our streaks are going to be based off of how many kills we got in a row rather than how many score we're earning, which once again, I feel kind of iffy about because when it comes down to game modes such as domination, kill confirmed, basically objective game modes, people might not actually play the objective anymore and might just go straight for kills. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out in the long run. Maybe they might change things up later on, who knows? Once again, this is all just leaks, so take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, we have the personal UAV first, and next up on the list, it says we're also going to get a shielded turret, which in my opinion, I feel like is just going to be a very buffed up version of a sentry turret that we've all seen in many past Call of Duty titles. We have the traditional care package coming back. We have a scrambler drone, which I think might act as like a counter UAV or something like a drone that flies over a certain part of the map and just kind of blocks off that part of the mini map, I guess. I'm not really sure. Next up, we also have a cluster strike, which this kind of sounds like the lightning strike or your mortar strike from World War II, you know, something along the lines of that. Then we also have a cruise missile, which here it basically says that it sounds very similar to the Predator missile that we've seen in games like Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. And then after this, we have the UAV, which it will be for the entire team. So in a way, you do have two types of UAVs so far, one being the personal and one being for your entire team. So in a way, if that mini map isn't there, maybe this could make up for that. Continuing on with the list, we have the precision airstrike. We also have the Wilson, which is basically a small remote tank, something similar to the Cerberus back in Black Ops 3 or the Mantis here in Black Ops 4. And then next up, we have one of my favorite kill streaks of all time, the chopper gunner. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of chopper gunner this could be, if this will make it to the game. I don't know if it's going to be like the Modern Warfare 2 version where the pilot basically takes you towards the spawns of the enemies and you go ahead and do your own thing, or if it's going to be like Black Ops 1 where you kind of pull back the door and it just basically circles the map in, like I said, a very clean, nice circle rather than just going to random spots on the map. I feel like when it comes down to it, Black Ops 1 version of the chopper gunner was probably the more superior one just because it was the most consistent since it went around in that perfect loop around the map rather than just random parts of it. But at the same time, Modern Warfare 2's chopper gunner was pretty deadly too, so we'll just have to see which one they bring back. Regardless, both of those versions are amazing, and I'm really glad to see that the chopper gunner at least made it to this list. Afterwards, we have the advanced UAV, which I feel like will act like something close to the VSAT, sort of like how we had it back in Infinite Warfare, where it didn't really show you a continuous movement of where the enemies are going rather than it's a sweep, but it also shows you the direction of where they're going. So something similar to that. Then we have the white phosphorus, which is basically like a chemical strike that will be dropped on the part of the map that the player chooses it to drop it on. Maybe something like the artillery barrage. And then afterwards we have the VTOL, which is a fighter jet that hovers over the map, sort of like the Harriers from Modern Warfare 2, where two of them kind of go over the map, but the third one stays back and kind of shoots people down. That's sort of what the VTOL sounds like. Next up, we have the Juggernaut, which we pretty much got confirmation from E3 because they did share that one screenshot of the Juggernaut within multiplayer. And of course, we all knew that as soon as we saw that picture, it was going to be a kill streak or a score streak. So when it comes to this one, we pretty much already knew that this was going to be part of the game. Afterwards, we have the Pavlo, which thank God they're bringing this back, because the Pavlo back in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 was a beast of a kill streak. Like, once you call that guy in, you have nothing to worry about. The Pavlo had your back from the moment it entered the map until it left. So I'm glad to see that they're bringing back the Pavlo and that they're actually bringing back some powerful streaks. Speaking of powerful streaks, we also have the AC-130 coming back, and this one, man, it had to make its way back into Modern Warfare because Black Ops 4 had it, Modern Warfare 2 and 3 had it. It's a very deadly streak. If they didn't bring this back into Modern Warfare 2019, I'm pretty sure a lot of fans, including myself, would have rioted and asked Infinity Ward to somehow add this into the game. And then finally, to end things off on our list of leaked kill streaks for Modern Warfare, we have the tactical nuke coming back, and it's going to be like how it was in Modern Warfare 2, where it will be game ending and it will take 25 kills in a row to be able to earn this. Now, I'm not really sure if this is 25 kills just from your gun or from other streaks as well. Like, we don't even know if the streaks will stack up on top of each other like how MW2 did, or if it's going to be like Black Ops 1 where you have to earn these streaks with your weapon. So I'm not really sure once again, you guys, but nonetheless, these are your 17 kill streaks that have been apparently leaked by the Gaming Revolution and his sources. Now, once again, you guys, like I said earlier, this is just a leak, so take it with a grain of salt. Just because the Gaming Revolution and his source have been right about many other things doesn't mean that this is also going to be 100% correct either, but at the same time, it could most likely happen, seeing how accurate they were with some of the other things they have said before. So just keep that in mind. In the end, you guys, how do I feel about this list? I actually like it a lot. I don't feel like that there's a lot of streaks on this list that I'm looking at and I'm going like, okay, you know what? That's just a waste of a score streak or a kill streak. Like, something else could have been part of the list rather than that streak. Unlike Black Ops 4, where I look at the list of streaks in that game and I'm like, you know what? When it comes to something like the Dart, do they really have to bring that back? Like, why couldn't they bring back like the attack dogs instead? Or they could have easily gotten rid of something like the sentry gun and bring back the VSAT or something. I don't know. The point is, there was a lot of streaks on Black Ops 4's list where I looked at it and I'm like, man, something more great or stronger could have been in that spot instead. But for this leaked list for Modern Warfare, I'm not really feeling that too much. Maybe the cluster strike is something I'm looking at and kind of going like, it could have been a little bit better, since it does sound like it's going to be something similar to the lightning strike or the artillery barrage from World War II. But other than that, everything else seems like it would be fun to use. But in all honesty, you guys, I'm so glad that they brought back the tactical nuke once again, if this list is legit, because the tactical nuke was one of those iconic streaks that will never be forgotten in terms of the Call of Duty franchise and its multiplayer. And on top of that, fans have been asking for this streak to come back to the franchise one way or another for a very long time. So if it makes its way back into Modern Warfare this year, I really don't think that there could have been a better way for this streak to make a return. On top of that, the fact that it's going to be game ending will be even more fun to use, because a lot of people went after this nuke with the mentality that, you know what, it doesn't matter if we're losing the match or not. Once we call it in, it's over, we won. You know, so to have that competitive edge make a return once again to a game like this, it's going to make it a lot more fun. But in the end, once again, I got to see gameplay myself in order to make like a full or fair judgment about how these streaks actually work within the game. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that this list of streaks could be legit for Modern Warfare this year? And if the answer is yes, also let me know what you guys think about this list of streaks. Do you feel like it's a pretty good set of streaks, or do you feel like there are some things you would change? And if so, what would those changes be? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below if you guys would like to share them. But as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll never miss an upload, and follow me on my social media accounts to stay connected. Links will all be in the description below, and I will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and bye.